The first issue of a new era of X-Men brings with it new style, new stories, new team lineups, and most importantly, it would seem, new costumes. The long-anticipated start of the From the Ashes Post Krakoa era of X-Men has begun in spectacular fashion, and it makes me very hopeful for the future of X-Men for a lot of reasons that I'm going to dive into today. I'm Dan Umpton, and this is the Doomcast. Alright, do me a favor, hit subscribe and the bell. I make about one of these videos a week. They are all great, truly, so please don't miss even one. Jed MacKay's career has taken off insanely in the last 3 years. His run on Moon Knight has been incredible, which in turn led to his run on Strange after the death of Doctor Strange, and that character's subsequent return, still doing that title as well. About a year ago he started the post-Jason era in Avengers, and now he's also writing X-Men with Ryan Stegman on pencils. All he needs is one Spider-Man title, and he'd be writing a full 80% of Marvel Comics, and that is an insane amount of titles to juggle. I'm not complaining. I really like Jed MacKay. I think he writes a good story, even if all the villains are always inevitably a 6-character cabal of weirdos named after some Elden Ring something like Astoreth, Firstborn of Heresy, or Nihilum, Knight of the Sacrilege. I don't know. It's fine, Jed, but we know what you're doing. Look, if it didn't work on me, I wouldn't continue reading it. Anyway, if there's anyone who's a perfect pair to black metal nonsense writing, it's Ryan Stegman of Uncanny Avengers, Venom, The Schlub, etc. His work with Donny Cates on Venom was loaded with fast-paced widescreen action, so his pairing with MacKay on this book, incredible. And his choices for new costume design, I really enjoy. First, Scott's got a new visor and a sort of padded tactical jacket or top thing in yellow, which is met with some criticism as they made Scott into a twink. Oh, you mean the guy nicknamed Slim is suddenly a twink? That's news to you? All right. That look fits with the jacket choice, frankly, which is designed so that the pads highlight an X in the negative space, which I think is pretty clever, or maybe that's positive space. Either way, I like it. Makes sense. Also, if you're going to go into combat, you're probably going to want some kind of padding. Magic, whose Bendis-era Uncanny X-Men costume is completely unchanged, I don't have a problem with that, but I also didn't mind the Captain Commander Yellow of New Mutants. Hank gets his classic trunks. Quentin Quire gets a sleek new jacket with punk/ska checks. I'm good with that. Psylocke gets a tactical jacket, which again makes sense because they're all based in Alaska. Beast going with his shorts, he's covered with fur. That still makes sense. Juggernaut has an X etched into his new black helmet, while Temper gets a full Shoto Todoroki update since that's basically her power set. Not that I'm complaining, I think she's a really good choice and it's a cool power set anyway. It works in My Hero, it works in X-Men. Magneto seems to be at an uneasy alliance with the rest of the team and opts for a purple suit in a metal hover chair that I assume is just unpowered. He's just making it float, alongside his classic helmet. Now, the new team has taken over an old Orcus base in Merrill, Alaska, which at one time employed a significant amount of that town's people, and some of the locals were left very sympathetic, obviously, since that was their livelihood. Apparently, as well, Orcus isn't entirely gone, with some of the remnant teams splintering into the Fourth School, a group that has fused the ideas of Orcus and John Sublime's U-Men from Grant Morrison's run. MacKay does pull from and reference Morrison and Quitely's classic run, drawing in characters like Zorn, Glob Herman, immediately referencing Quentin's kick usage from that era, depicting Quentin in the other mutants from that era as much younger than the Krakoan era portrayed them, certainly. How far will that end up playing out? That's anyone's guess at this point. Now, the Fourth School mutants, all of them adults from Orcus whose powers were manifested and activated suddenly through a means that they haven't really gotten into, and I'm sure we'll get more information about that, were whisked and teleported away suddenly after the X-Men attempted to liberate Wolverine from their base. Logan has become disillusioned after the end of Krakoa and the situation with Xavier being imprisoned, which perfectly explains his not joining the only specific X-Men core book to be written by a Canadian, not including Ed Brisson's New Mutants. So, once again, no Canadians writing Wolverine. The issue concludes with Scott and Hank commiserating on the work of trying to blend into their new surroundings over a beer and remarking on how the town still seems to hate them despite what they owe them, which then pans to a giant sentinel stopped in its tracks directly over the town, completely frozen. A secret bonus scene, though, only in the QR code on the last page, introduced some... Oh, damn it, Jed, you did it again! There's 4 cryptically named villains with vaguely gothic names like the Zealot, the Doctor, the Means, and the Chairman, a group calling itself 3K. I'm not complaining, but you're doing it again. Anyway, if we're taking bets on their identity, I'm thinking it's Cassandra Nova, Miss Sinister, or maybe Mother Righteous and Mr. Sinister. Some third guy I'm actually not 100% sure about, but maybe that's not Exodus. I don't know what the spikes are. And then maybe Charles Xavier or somebody wearing his Krakoan Cerebro helmet. With my luck, it's probably not going to be Charles Xavier. After all, I was wrong about the Enigma thing. I can admit when I'm wrong. It would have been cool if Enigma had actually been Charles Xavier all along, but whatever, it's fine. Anyway, for a first fun outing into a new X-Men story, this is incredibly accessible. It doesn't hinge on a bunch of Krakoa continuity. It doesn't require you to read any of that. It also drops the reader squarely into the action from the get-go. Doesn't go overboard on exposition, doesn't have any weird text pages like every single Krakoan era issue seemed to. All huge, cool, widescreen action. A lot of fun. All in all, it's a pretty great first issue, but it definitely lacks the ominous and epic implications of the beginning of the Krakoan era. Maybe that's a good thing, but if this is indicative of the direction of overall X-Books for the Brevoort era as an editor, character-driven, focused story arcs with fun, accessible jumping on points, I'm absolutely down for more of that. Inject it directly into my veins. Anyway, thanks everybody for checking this out. I appreciate you. Have a great week. Peace.